Emily's tiny fingers were slipping, her legs kicking, her voice fading. But right before the water swallowed her, a homeless girl passing by jumped the fence and changed all their lives forever. Thin, barefooted, clothes torn, a backpack held together with safety pins, running like her entire life depended on this one moment. Her name was Maya Brooks, 14 years old. And she lived behind a shut-down pizza shop 2 streets away. Minutes before the chaos, Maya had been crossing the wealthy neighborhood, searching for cans to recycle. It was the only way she survived since losing her parents last winter. Everyone in the neighborhood knew her. Some ignored her. Some avoided her. Others pitted her quietly from a distance. But today wasn't about pity. As she walked past the Carson mansion, she heard something, soft splashing at first, then a panicked choke, then a scream so sharp it sliced through the quiet afternoon. Maya dropped her bag instantly. She vaulted over the side gate just as Emily's tiny fingers slipped off the pool's metal edge. "Help! Somebody help me!" Emily cried, her voice cracking. Maya didn't think. She didn't plan. She didn't hesitate. She sprinted, feet slapping against the hot tiles, and launched into the air, diving without stopping to wonder why a billionaire's child was alone at the pool with no adult in sight. The water swallowed her instantly, but Maya didn't panic. Swimming was the one skill life had forced her to learn. She used to compete before her parents died. It was the only thing she still had, the only piece of her old life that hadn't been taken away. And now it was the thing keeping Emily alive. Maya grabbed the struggling girl, turned her around like a trained rescuer, and kicked hard toward the shallow end. Emily coughed, choked, gasped, and clung to Maya's shoulders. "It's okay. I got you," Maya said, breathless. "You're safe. I promise." Just as their feet touched the shallow floor, a shout echoed from the sliding glass doors. "Emily!" Richard Carson burst outside, phone in hand, panic twisting his face. He froze at the sight, his daughter, soaked, shaking, clinging to a homeless teenager in a torn brown dress. What happened?" he asked, eyes darting between them. Emily sobbed, pointing at Maya. "She saved me. I almost drowned. She saved me." Richard rushed over, grabbing Emily into his arms, holding her like she'd slip away again. "Maya?" he asked, recognizing the girl he'd seen sleeping near the storefront down the street. You did this?" Maya shook water from her hair and nodded, shivering. "I just heard her," she said. "She was drowning. I couldn't just leave." Richard stood there, stunned. Billion-dollar deals, high-level meetings, global press. None of them came close to the weight of this moment. He whispered, "Thank you. You saved my child." But the drama wasn't over. Richard wrapped a towel around Emily, then around Maya. And for the first time in his adult life, he saw something he had never noticed. Maya was just a child. A child living alone. A child who had saved the thing he valued more than anything, Emily. "Where are your parents?" Richard asked gently. Maya hesitated. "They're gone. I've been on my own." Emily looked up, eyes wide. "Dad, she saved me. Can she stay? Just for today?" Richard didn't answer immediately. His lawyer brain kicked into overdrive, liability, guardianship, authorities, rules, but then he looked at Maya again, dripping, trembling, trying not to cry even though her lips were quivering. She had risked her life for his daughter without hesitation. "Come inside," he finally said. "Both of you." Inside the mansion, Emily wouldn't let go of Maya's hand. She dragged her to the living room, gave her warm clothes, even offered her favorite blue hoodie, the one she never shared with anyone. Meanwhile, Richard stepped away to make phone calls. Not business calls. Personal ones. Emotional ones. When he returned, Maya was sitting on the edge of the couch like she didn't belong there. Because in her mind, she didn't. "Hey," Richard said, sitting across from her. "Emily told me everything. You kept her alive. If you weren't walking past our home at that exact moment." His voice broke for a second. "I can't repay what you did. But I can make sure your life doesn't stay the way it is now." Maya looked confused. "I don't want money. I was just doing what anyone should have done." He shook his head slowly. "Anyone would have screamed. Anyone would have run for help. You jumped in." Emily piped up, "Dad, please let her stay. Please. She's my hero." Maya blinked. Nobody had called her anything close to a hero in years. That's when Richard made the decision that changed all their lives. "Maya," he said, "you don't have to go back out there. Not ever. I've spoken to social services. If you're willing, I'd like to take you in. Give you a home. A real one." Maya froze, heart pounding. A home? Not a shelter. Not a temporary bed. A family. "I don't know what to say," Maya whispered. "Say yes." Emily begged, hugging her arm. Maya looked at her small hands, then at Richard, then around the warm living room. The photos, the books, the smell of fresh cookies from the kitchen. All the things she used to dream about when she slept behind the pizza shop. "Are you sure?" she asked. "I'm nobody." Richard shook his head. You saved the most important person in my life. That makes you somebody. Somebody extraordinary. Emily nodded so hard her hair bounced. You're my hero. And heroes belong with family. A tear finally rolled down Maya's cheek. Okay, she whispered. Yes. Emily squealed and pulled her into a hug. Richard exhaled like the weight of the world had finally lifted. In one moment of courage, everything changed. The story went viral across New York. News anchors called Maya the Angel of Long Island. Schools invited her to speak. Organizations offered support. But what mattered most was the new life she stepped into. For the first time in a long time, she slept in a bed, her bed. She wore new clothes, her clothes. She sat at a dinner table where people cared if she'd eaten enough. Emily introduced her to everyone as, my sister. And Richard introduced her as, my daughter. Not the homeless girl. Not the kid people used to avoid. But Maya Carson. The girl who risked everything to save a billionaire's child. Only to discover she was saving herself too. And in the biggest city in America, New York, where millions of stories collide every second, this one became a reminder that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear torn brown dresses and carry backpacks held together with safety pins. Sometimes they aren't seen, until the moment they save the world for someone else. Tell us your name and where you are watching from to get a special shout out on our next video tomorrow. Subscribe for more stories.